400 years of silence. From Malachi to Matthew. The powers of the time were Greece, who had language, Israel, that had hope, and Rome, that had roads. The politics of the time were the Sanhedrin, the Jewish rulers, the scribes, the Sadducees, and the Pharisees. There were the publicans who had money, and the zealots who would kill for the Messiah. The gospel gave us 4 distinct views with one good news. Then there's Bethlehem, where Jesus was born, and then he went to Nazareth, where he learned to be a carpenter. Then to the Jordan River, he was baptized by John. Then to the wilderness, where he was tempted by the devil. His first miracle was Cana, where he turned water to wine. In Jerusalem, he told Nicodemus of the second baby. He told Nicodemus of the second birth. Then in Samaria, he approached the woman at the well. Then back to Nazareth, where he faced rejection. He moved to Capernaum, where he selected the 12, preached the Sermon on the Mount, demonstrated power over Satan. And then the parable started. The storm was stilled, crowd-filled, walking on water, testimony of Peter, transfiguration. Then back to Jerusalem, where stones flew and Jesus withdrew. Then to Perea, when he preached about counting the cost and seeking the lost. Back in Judea, where Lazarus was raised, Zacchaeus was praised. In AD 30 in Jerusalem, a triumphal entry, temple cleansing, and then the Last Supper. In the garden he prayed and was betrayed. He was tried, denied, and crucified. He was resurrected. After 40 days, Jesus ascended. 10 days later, the Spirit descended at the Feast of Pentecost. Peter and John cure a lame man. Ananias and Sapphira are caught in embezzlement. 7 deacons are chosen, including Stephen, who faced persecution, and Philip, who preached in Samaria. Paul's conversion. Peter's vision. Peter in jail experiences a night release. And James is martyred. Paul's first missionary journey lasted 2 years and was mainly in the region of Galatia. The apostles gathered in Jerusalem and met in a council. Did the Gentiles have to follow the law? No. Paul's second missionary journey lasts 3 years, mainly in Macedonia, Greece, and Achaia. And during this time, he wrote 2 letters to the Thessalonians. Paul's third missionary journey lasted 4 years and was generally in the regions of Asia. During this time, he wrote twice to the Corinthians and once to the Romans. Back in Jerusalem, Paul faced 3 trials: Felix, Festus, Agrippa. Paul's first Roman imprisonment, he wrote the epistles of Ephesians, Colossians, Philemon, and Philippians. In AD 62, he gained freedom. Paul wrote the pastoral epistles of Titus and 1 Timothy. Rome was burned. Paul's second Roman imprisonment, he wrote his final letter to Timothy, and this ended with Paul being martyred. The fall of Rome. The fall of Jerusalem. Many years later, John wrote the 4th Gospel and the 3 letters. In AD 95, he was exiled on the island of Patmos, where he received the revelation of Jesus Christ.